Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here. Welcome back to the railway and welcome to some more restoration. How's everybody doing? It's nice to see so many people here. Hope you're all doing okay during these obviously continuously troubling times. Hope you're all doing well. Let's give a few shout outs to start off and then I'll show you what fun jobs I have to do today. Well, I don't have to do them, but I'm going to attempt to do them. There we go. Let me give the wave camera. There we go. Is that working? Yeah, I think so. Right, good evening from Australia, says Luke's Locomotives. Very nice. Australian viewers watching, very cool. I'm Norwegian, says Crazy Boy. Not bad at all. Mike Dunning, welcome to you. Hello, mods, MDH Games, and the Ugly Duck Man. Here we go, Trace Pierce. Yes, very good, it's true. It's good to know mostly everyone is still kicking. Sorry, completely misread that one. My apologies. Callum Smith, welcome to you. iFender says hey to you as well. Jack the Legomatic 95, hello to you as well. Holden 050, looks like he's from either Australia or Austria. I guess it could be either, couldn't it? ATSF Rail fan, hello to you from Germany. That's very cool. Oh, Trace, thank you very much. Glad you're doing great, friend. I'm doing my best to be. Thanks, Trace, and thank you so much. I have been looking out for the H2s. I've been looking at the price, so maybe sometime. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well, folks. I hope you're all ready for some fun restorations today. I thought I would kick off with one that I restored a little while ago anyway, from the lot that I showed you. It is a River Rossi. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who has helped me figure out what this thing is. I believe it is a Porter tank engine. Lee Tong, thank you so much. Hey Sam, we need more American running sessions. Yeah, that is true. I'd like to do more of those. Anyway, so apparently this is a Porter tank engine. Mechanically, it is fine now. I've managed to fix it up. It was a bit of a faff to service, but nothing too tricky. You might have noticed in the video it was missing a smoke box door. Well, as you can see, it now has one. The handrail isn't quite right because I used a wire that isn't the right colour, so I'm going to change that at some point. But yeah, I actually cast this. I took a copy of a Hornby E2 smoke box door. Let me show you that. And I cast it in resin and painted it and added a handrail and stuck that on the Porter tank engine. So it's not prototypical, obviously, but it does kind of work. And it was just an experiment, really. I just wanted to see if I could copy a part from a model train. And as you can see, yeah, it's not bad. The smoke box dart didn't come out exactly right, and there's a bit of bubbling at the bottom. But as you can see, yeah, the moulding is about spot on, which is good. And I learnt a lot from it, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to do better copies of parts if I need to make them. Obviously, nothing serious, but you know, it's a nice option to have if I'm completely stuck for a part. So let's have a look at the chat. Yeah, I've changed the chat colour, by the way, so hopefully you can actually read it now. That's something, isn't it? Oh wow, Amadeus Jonathan, thank you so much for that. That's very, very kind of you. Really appreciate that. Anyway, let me get this down onto the track and I'll show you it running, because as per, well, most River Rossi locos really, it is quite a good runner, quite impressive. So let's bring it on the track, and I thought we would kick off with a bit of running, because you probably ain't going to see any more today, because the locos I've got to show you today to service are not in a good place at all. They look like they're going to be a real challenge. But as you can see, this one worked just fine. It wasn't too much of a challenge. Get it off the express point if I can. Oops, got the direction wrong. I was going to try and get it to crawl, but I failed big time there. All right, hang on. Yeah, no, it's not a crawler. It's not a crawler, unfortunately, as quite a lot of older locos aren't. But as you can see, it's running quite nicely. It's quite a lightweight loco though. I was expecting it to be a bit heavier, being River Rossi, so as a result it's not much of a puller. But as you can tell, yeah, it's a nice runner. So there we go, that is a positive start. You can't say I didn't start it positive now. And once I've had a quick look at the chat, I will introduce the first of today's locos, possibly the only of today's locos, depending on how long it takes. But it's a mess, folks. I'm not looking forward to it. I've no idea whether it's going to be any fixable or not, but we'll see. Okay, James's Trains. Yes, you can have a shout out. Oh, Amadeus again. Oh, thank you very much, Amadeus. It's very, very kind. It says, you are amazing. Thank you very much. Rob Arnold, afternoon to you. Gabriel, good morning from Indiana. That's cool. Very nice. Got a lot of people from a lot of different places today. That's very exciting. Right. let me show you today's loco then. Now, I don't know much about it, or I don't know anything about it really, but hopefully we will know more later on. So if anyone recognises this, it's a Santa Fe loco, obviously American of some description. It's absolutely filthy. Let me get in close and show you some of this. Look, there's just thick dirt caked onto it. I have no idea how this was stored, but obviously I'm going to have to go down and do some serious body cleaning. So what I was going to ask you guys to do was to take a screenshot. If I hold this and fill the screen with it, you guys take a screenshot of it. I'll give you, let's say, 10 seconds. Somebody screenshot it. We'll do the same thing again once it's been cleaned up, and then you can post comparisons on Twitter or something like that, or on Facebook, and we'll see if it looks any better. So yeah, anybody recognise the loco Santa Claus FE? Very good, Mark. Thanks for that joke, I guess. Cody Sibthorpe, it does look good, but whether or not I'm going to be able to fix it is another thing. The thing is with this, it's just going to be a bit of a, I don't know, we're just going to have to go on a recce to start with, take it apart and have a look inside. I'm not guaranteeing I'll be able to fix it, and you shouldn't take this as a tutorial because I've never looked at one of these before. So like I say, I don't know what's going to be going on. I'm Swedish, and make me a shout out. There we go, you got your shout out. Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. Oh, King Ori's done it. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, folks. So, without any further ado then, let's try and take the body off, shall I? I don't know how this one's done. I've looked already and I can't see any screws. So I'm guessing the body's just going to pop off. Underneath it says made in Yugoslavia, so it's possible that it's another one of those Mohano locos, I'm guessing, maybe. But exactly what it is, I'm not sure yet. So, let me have a look. I don't think anyone's seen this mechanism, probably for a generation, probably 30 odd years. So it's going to be interesting. The body plastic is incredibly tough. I'm really struggling to shift it. I don't want to break off the steps, obviously. Right, so where are the body clips? The body clips are there, I think. So, oh, blimey. Yeah, this is different to modern locos, because modern locos that have clip-on bodies have really flimsy plastic. This one's tough. You, Dominic, says Harrick Fisher. Hey, what? Sorry, what? Harrison Fisher? I don't know, but thanks. My name's Sam, but you call me Dominic if you like. Right, is this going to come out? Is there? I don't think there are any screws in the top, were there? I don't think so. Yeah, can't see any. Yeah, it's coming, it's coming. Let's get some clips in the back. That one. And this one. Yeah, so it tells me this one might be a challenge. Yeah, there we go, it's coming now. All right. Oh, fun. So first things first, the motor's loose. It doesn't really matter as long as it sort of stays roughly in the right place. The motor's supposed to be loose, I think, because there's a piece inside the body. As you can see, there's like a wedge shape here, which appears to push the motor down and hold it in place. So maybe that's not unintentional. That's probably supposed to be that way. On the plus side, I'll easily be able to take this motor out and hopefully give it a bit of a service. That would be good. Maybe without even removing the brushes, actually, because the commutator, as you can see, appears to be exposed. So I could clean that commutator, hopefully, and test the motor at least, without necessarily having to take it to pieces, which would be quite good, wouldn't it? That would be a breath of fresh air. Oh God, Rack Rasputin. Do you mean rah rah Rasputin? I think you may have slightly misremembered the lyrics there, but no, I appreciate it, thank you very much. Right. Do you know Chinese, says SLD51. I do not, unfortunately. There's supposed to be a chassis weight, says Nathan. There is. This thing here has the chassis weight inside it. Let me show you. It's actually screwed on, but it's very heavy. It's a very heavy chassis. Right, good. So, how are the bogies held on? That's a big question. I think they're just clipped on, which is interesting. I see. Yeah, the bogies should be removable quite easily, so that's all right. We seem to have one pickup coming from each bogie, which is the way the Lima stuff used to do it, so that's okay. And I think we should also be able to remove the brushes quite easily as well. So I reckon, well, I'll tell you what, let's do first things first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to take this downstairs. I'm going to go AFK for a second. I'll take you with me on mic, but I'm sorry you won't be able to see it. I'm going to clean this up with the toothbrush method, and I will talk through it again for the benefit of those that weren't there last time. So you guys be good, moderators keep a close eye. I'll be back in a few minutes, and hopefully the next time you see that horrible, crusty, filthy body, it will look a little bit better. Hopefully. So I'll be back in a second, folks. Wish me luck. Hopefully it won't ruin it, what I'm about to do. And we'll give it a shot. Okay, creeping downstairs, here we go. Okay, so the process is pretty straightforward. It doesn't take very long, and most of you will know what the process involves because I've done it before. So you take preferably a used toothbrush. I know it's gross, yeah, it's gross, but used toothbrushes obviously have a little bit, the bristles tend to be a little bit less, what shall we say, bristly. A used toothbrush tends to be a little bit more, less abrasive, let's say, on the bodywork. So you take the toothbrush, you spray some, I just use ordinary hand soap. You don't want anything too strong that's going to strip the transfers off or anything like that. But obviously it's got to do a good job of cleaning it. You just take regular hand soap and scrub the body with it, with the toothbrush, obviously being careful. And I should say this method isn't suitable for every loco you come across. Some locos are really quite fragile, modern ones for example, that have loads of separately fitted parts on them. Not a good idea with those because they obviously will break off as soon as you put a toothbrush anywhere near them. So obviously it's, you've got to be smart, you've got to use your discretion and only try this with locos on which it's suitable, but any of the trying locos, Mahano, Lima, any loco like that, absolutely fine. So I've almost finished the first pass with the toothbrush, just covering the whole body with a little bit of a scrub. Obviously this is going to take several attempts, so I'm going to rinse it off in a second, just make sure I've got every bit. Rinse it off, take a regroup, have a look, see how it's looking. The foam that the toothbrush is making as it's scrubbing over the parts is brown, so obviously the dirt's coming off. So then what you do for the rinsing process is that you run some fast flowing cold water, and I use my bath because that has the fastest flowing tap besides the hose in the garden. I don't want to take it out in the garden particularly. And then as long as it's cold and fast running, it should work. You just run the body under there, get all the soap suds off, and when you're finished you dab it with a towel, but obviously I'm not finished right now. So there we go, the body's rinsed. I'm also going to rinse off the toothbrush because it's filthy and the water that's run into the bath is muddy brown. I don't know what you would do to make a model this dirty, seriously. Even leaving it in a loft for 30 years uncovered, I can't imagine anything getting that dirty. It's quite shocking in a way. Okay, so after the first clean, it's looking good, I have to say. I'm going to do it again, so I've got some fresh soap. I haven't dried the body, it doesn't really matter about drying it first time, obviously. But let's do the proper pass now. Hopefully most of the mud won't be on there anymore, so this will actually be cleaning it this time rather than just smearing dirt around. But we'll see, we'll see. And to be honest, once it's dry, in an hour's time or so, it might well show more dirt. That does happen sometimes. As they dry, you start to see marks appear and such, and then you find you have to do it again. That didn't happen with the model barn loco, or whatever it was called, Klein barn, that's it. Luckily that one looked perfect as soon as I'd done it, and it stayed that way. This one was a lot worse though, so we'll have to see how that goes. Right, well, I can see the colours, folks. I know you can't yet, but you will shortly. It looks a lot nicer than it did already, in reds. And the lining looks really smart, it's popping in fact. It's really good. Right. Well, I'm satisfied with that, so let's take the cold running water again, and I think we'll go for it this time. I think I'll go for the full dry as well, and then I'll bring it back up and show it to you guys, see what you think. Okay, get all that soap off. Oh hoy, I tell you what folks, it looks like a much more detailed model now. You know, now that all of the dirt has come out of the fans and the grills and stuff, it actually looks like a decent model, whereas it looked a bit like a nasty toy that you wouldn't want to give that annoying nephew of yours or something. Yeah, now it looks fantastic. Okay. But then again, when wet, they often do look fantastic. The challenge is getting them to dry and keep them looking good. So what I'm doing now, if it sounds strange, I'm just shaking the model quite vigorously to make sure there's most of the water coming off. And it does seem to be, which is good. There we go. And then you take a towel or rag or whatever and dab it clean. It's quite important that you don't rub, just dab. It does take a bit longer to dab. I don't mean actual dabbing. That's not something I recommend. Tried it once, never again. And that should get nice and dry. And obviously I recommend you do this first, as I have done today, although I nearly forgot, just because it allows the whole thing to dry properly before you end up putting the body on the loco. But there's not much metal on this loco to rust and such, so probably won't matter, but it's still a good practice to follow, I'd say. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to give it one more dab try on the inside, and then I'll bring it up and show it to you all. Wow, another amazing result from a very simple cleaning process there. Right, up we go. I'm coming, folks. I'll be with you in just a sec. Okay, are you ready? I don't know if it'll be a big reveal, but it is going to be a reveal. I'm so sorry that you've had to spend the last 5 minutes looking at a stain on my work bench. Sincere apologies for that. Okay, are you ready? You ready to see the difference? Here we go. Ta-da! That does look different, doesn't it? If we go in close, look at all the grills. Look amazing, don't they? And the front part. Still a little bit of marks on there, but I was scrubbing at those and I couldn't get them off, so might have to use something stronger on those at some point. But the key thing is it's not filthy anymore, so I can sort of handle it now and use it and test with it. Yeah, that's not bad at all, is it? That's looking really, really good. Yeah, Nathan Chan says, wow, it's like brand new. I know, it almost, well, it's got the missing steps still, but besides that, yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Massive improvement, it looks really good. I don't think it's a Lima job. Oh, it could have been built by the real Lima, but not Lima, Italy. I think it's a Mahano or a AHC or something like that, IHC something. Why did you reply to a comment in Chinese? Did I? SLD51? I'm not aware of that. I promise I don't speak Chinese. Looks good, says AJ Anderson. Thanks, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. It never ceases to amaze me how that very simple toothbrush cleaning method works. But try it at home and let me know what it turns out like. Anyway, if anyone wants to screenshot, there it is. You can put the comparison on Twitter or something if you like. But for now, let's have a look at the chassis, which, by the way, probably also needs a bit of a clean, although I could probably do this up the loft because it's only the exposed parts. Look at that. So that's what's been out in the open air, and that's what hasn't. Wow, kind of different. Okay, so let's see if I can get the motor unit out. We'll probably opt for a full disassembly here. These should pull apart, yeah. So we've got these nice sort of rollerball bearing type things, which are good. I might be able to just slide these brush covers out and remove the brushes that way. I'm not sure if that's actually going to work. Like I say, I've not worked on these motors before, so what happens, I've no idea. I'm not sure if they're going to come out or not. Not too worried about destroying the solder joint, of course, and there's every possibility that a spring is going to come bursting out of here. Try and hold that in place. Oh, there we go, it's out. So there we have the spring. Whether the brush is small enough to fit out, I'm not sure. We'll give that a go, but I'm just going to put the spring to one side now so that I don't lose it. We'll clean that in a minute. Let's flip it over. No, doesn't seem as though the brush is going to follow it, which is a shame. But if I can help it, I don't really want to do a full disassembly of this motor. Whoops. Thank you, whoever that was. Oh, Mark7188. Hi Sam, hope you're well. I'll be getting the new N-Gauge train set tomorrow. and an old Hornby Clockwork train set too. Can't wait, that sounds amazing. I really hope you enjoy them. I've just dropped a spring on the floor, so bear with me 1 second while I retrieve it, if I can. If I can't, I'll have to put a replacement in. Yeah, unfortunately it's finally happened. It happens all the time. Springs leap out and become lost on the floor. What I normally do is have a quick look, obviously, but if I can't find them, I'll just go to my parts bin, pick out a replacement brush, a replacement spring, fit that into the model instead, and then usually when I'm not looking for it, I'll find the spring, no problem. It seems with this one I'm not able to find it right now, which is a shame, and it's pretty annoying, but not the end of the world. We just have a quick feel. Nope, can't seem to find it. It was a dark coloured one, which is a shame. Normally the shiny ones are easier to find. But yeah, that one really did shoot out, unfortunately. But we're okay. I've now managed to get the motor separated from all the wiring without having to desolder anything, which is pretty good. So that's fine. Let's take these drive shafts off, see how they're assembled. Are they the same on both sides? Yeah, I believe so. So it doesn't really matter then which way those go on. But I will try and lay them out in the correct way, just so that I don't, well, unnecessarily mix parts up. There we go. Okay, now these are wired together, which is okay. We can probably deal with that. And I'm now going to see if I can pull out these clips which appear to hold the bogies on. Not sure if this is the right thing to do or not. It's this top piece that needs to come off, I believe. There's not much holding the bogies on, I'll have to say. I need to get good purchase on it so I can just pull them off. That's it. Okay. So that's all that's holding the bogie on, although some locos have less than that, so I shouldn't complain. Does the bogie come off now? Yes, it does. All right, good. This one might need to be desoldered actually, because it is connected to the other side, but let's give this one a go. This one's a bit different because it's got a bulb mounted to it, which is, well, annoying a little bit, but it's all right. It's got lights, that's not a bad thing. See if I can get this off. There we go. Knock the handrails off as well. It's all right, the other end doesn't have them anyway. And fixing handrails on models like this, by the way, is something that I'm overly familiar with at the moment, because that Mahano that I reviewed on Wednesday, as I say, a lot of the handrails were broken on that when it came. So I spent a very entertaining, not half an hour or probably more, painstakingly reattaching the handrails to the thing, and actually I'm quite pleased with myself because it was a very fiddly job, one that would normally just irritate me and I'd give up in the end, but no, I didn't do. Alright, this is interesting. I think this is one wire that's just been stripped in the centre and soldered to the contact. That's interesting, but not useful in this case. So I'm going to just snip that. There we go. And move that contact somewhere else where it won't get lost. And now the two bogies should be free to be removed. So there's one. I think this is, well, it should be pretty simple. We've just got 2 pickups per bogie. I think that's pretty shoddy actually, isn't it? But it is what it is. Let's see if I can get this bulb to fit through the hole in the chassis. I'm not going to be too careful with the bulb because when I've got time and if the thing works properly, I'll probably just fit it with some LEDs, which I think would be better. For now though, I'm just going to clean up some of the filthier parts of the chassis. Mahano TGVs are great, says Fast Track Model Railways. Yes, I've seen them. They look fantastic. 80 quid for a TGV set. They've got sort of double deck coaches on them, haven't they, which look awesome. And 4 pieces. Loco dummy, 2 coaches. A controller, I think track as well, is that right? Yeah, it's going to be track. And all for 80 quid. And I don't know what else you get as well, but it looks fantastic. I've also ordered a steam set, by the way. A lot of, well, 99% of people in the poll I put up on the Mahano video said you'd like to see a steam set, so I have ordered one. It cost £10 more than the freight set that I showed, or cargo train as it was cleverly named, but it appears to include an entire town scene. I kid you not, it's got like banks and buildings and a jail. It's just got a whole scene inside it, which is just incredible. And I love westerns and that sort of thing, so I'm really looking forward to it. Right, chassis is coming up nice and clean. Obviously there's no paint on this, so I'm not worried about just putting IPA onto it. Generally it does a better job of cleaning. Particularly if there's a sticker. There looks to be sort of some gum left on the bottom, you know how you'd get if a price tag had been put on. So that's gone now. Oh, it's a hot day today and this IPA is almost choking me. Not good. Right, there we are. That's reasonably clean now. So I can put that to one side and let that dry. Let's take a look at this motor then, see if I can persuade the brushes to leave their housings or not. Oh yeah, looks like I can. We're going to get a full house. It'd be annoying if only one came out, wouldn't it? I apologise for the knocking, folks. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it, unfortunately. So let's see if I can't loosen it with some IPA. IPA, it's like a fix for everything, isn't it? That's it. Probably spilt a bit too much of it there, but... Come on, you're coming out, Mr. Brush. There's no choice in the matter. Let's see. Just hope that they're all intact. The first brush that came out looked as though it had plenty of meat still on it, so all being well, the other one will be the same. Yes, it seems to be quite stuck. Which means I've probably got to get it out in order to figure out why it's stuck. Shall we open the baby up then? I think so. It's going to be easier to clean if I do that. But this part is the, well, it offers some opportunities for you to stab your fingers. So if you do this yourself, be careful. I think I can see how it comes apart. Right. Let's see. Hopefully I won't stab my finger on stream. That wouldn't be good. The difficulty is going to be pulling that bit off. Let's see if we can loosen the body of the motor anyway. I don't know if this is a good idea because the plastic housing seems to be a bit rough. To the point where I think I'm going to damage it. You know what? Maybe I won't try and take it apart. I might just try and proceed and see if the thing's going to work, because the plastic chassis, or the plastic retainer part here, doesn't look very good. We'll see. Let's see if we can clean it up then and get it to run, and if it works satisfactorily I might be willing to leave it assembled, and I'll probably assume that if it does work the brush isn't causing problems. But if it doesn't run right, that brush is going to be the prime suspect, so we'll see. What people are saying. Roast duck, says MDH Games. Oh, poor duck, man. If you want to give him a roasting, obviously you have my blessing, and I'm sure he won't mind, but obviously don't be nasty. Stop spamming Oliver. Who's spamming Oliver? Or is somebody called Oliver doing spamming? I'm not sure. Either way, don't spam. Keep it nice. Right, so this looked like it was utterly filthy to start with. Now that I'm cleaning it up a little, it doesn't look that bad. In fact, it looks almost like it's completely clean now. That brush is still not shifting. Which is annoying, but not a lot I can do about it. Let's grab the needle again, clean out the gaps in the commutator. I'm hoping this one isn't going to take hours and hours. I clocked it up on the Climb Barn logo, and I think I spent at least 3 hours on it, which is obviously quite a lot. But then again, it had effectively two mechanisms on board rather than just one, didn't it? So I guess that makes some sense. I must say, if this is a Mahano loco, they don't use motors like this anymore. They use more like Hornby's, just sort of standard parts. These motors seem like they might be good runners. I don't know. I'm just throwing a guess out there, really. I've never dismantled a loco like this before entirely with a central motor. Never done it. Right, okay, let's give that another clean then and see if I can't put it all back together. I'm glad I haven't lost the brush. The spring looks like it's easily replaceable. The brushes look like they're special. They're sort of square shaped, and I certainly wouldn't want to have lost one. Okay, make sure there's no visible debris on the motor there, and I think we're ready to reassemble. So let's oil it, very small amount. We've got an oiling hole at that end. Doesn't have to be such a small amount on the back end. Oh yeah, you can tell this is a really, well, the magnets are strong because it's clicking in decisive ticks, as you can see, a few degrees at a time. Seems like quite a decent motor. We'll see what it's like. The other spring is a bit damaged. I don't know if you can see this, it's not perfectly straight. I think I've just managed to fix that. Like I say, I've got absolutely loads of springs, so a replacement wouldn't be a big problem, but obviously if I can, keep the original part in there. Got to replace one of them though. What sort of spring? It's got quite a bit more spring than the Hornby ones tend to, which is interesting. Well, hopefully I'll be alright with the ones I've got. But they don't need that much tension on them. In fact, they should last longer if they haven't got too much tension on them. The brushes, that is. Okay, so there's one brush and one spring. Shall I put that one in to start with? I think so. So it's this side it needs to go into. Like so. Yes, this is nice. One difficulty is going to be getting the brush to, the spring to stay down while I push the retainer in. Yep, that was a difficulty. I've gone and trapped it. Right, how to do this. Maybe my finger isn't the best tool for this. Let's try, I need a bigger blade screwdriver. If you use too small one, the spring could escape it obviously and come bursting back out. So let's try it with this. I bet you I'm going to lose this spring now as well. Yeah, I am if I'm not careful. I think I've got more control with my finger, so let's try. And then maybe I can push the spring underneath it now. Yep. Right, that's in. Wow, difficult. And now we need a replacement spring for the other side. Yeah, that's a bit fiddly that actually. And the springs are probably under a bit of stress having to be bent like that as well. Either way, let's choose a nice shiny looking spring, one that looks like it might be new. That's it. Disentangle it from the other springs. I'm going to extend it out a bit, stretch it out, because obviously the one I'm replacing was a bit larger than that, and hopefully it will fit in. Oh no. No, that's not going to fit. I need a slimmer one, I think, which could be an issue actually. I might have to try and find the original if I don't have any that are going to fit. Maybe I do though. Let's try this one. Got a smaller one here. I'm going to stretch it out again, if you can see this. Just deform it slightly so it's longer, so it puts a bit more pressure on the brush. Let's put that in. Yeah, that's a good fit, and that should be fine. Where is the... I'll tell you what, we'll take this tab off as well. And we'll test the motor without any wires coupled up to it. And that should make servicing the bogies a bit easier as well if they're not connected to the motor. And then we'll have a look, see what the damage is. I'm not really looking forward to seeing what the bogies are like, because obviously they're budget models, they're not like the Klein barn. I imagine these are going to be a little bit more on the cheap side. But that's good in a way because it won't take so long to fix, hopefully. It's very hot, that piece. Just cool it down. There we are. Get it to evaporate some IPA. There we are, that's cold enough to touch now. Sam's Trains as the reassembler, says Nathan Chan. Well, it was a bit like the reassembler, wasn't it, last week? Because it took me hours and hours to do it. The Rent Locos and Hornby Dublo one shouldn't take that long. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm set to do any of those in the future or not. Right. Let's see if I can get this spring to go under the plate here. This spring's a bit more fiddly than the other one, so it's a bit smaller. Nope. Arg. This is annoying. Nope. It's still trapped, really. I'm sure that would be fine, but I'm not happy leaving it like that. I want it to be right if I can. Try again. Yeah, it feels like there must be a better solution than this. That's it. It's in. One thing I'm not keen on is that the brush in the other side, which I'm going to have to take out again, doesn't seem to be sitting flat to the commutator, which is annoying. Go on. Should have checked that really before I went through the hell of putting the spring in. Yeah, that's it. Right, we've got to get this baby back inside now. Right, and then I can test it. And if the motor works, I think that should be a good portion of the way there. Right. So, let's have your guesses, folks. Is the motor going to work? Let us know in the chat. Place your... well, preempt what's going to happen. Have a guess. Yes or no. And we'll see. I think it will. It's looking strong in my opinion, provided I've managed to get enough tension on the brushes, and the springs rather, we will see. Tejas Raj says, you are a wizard. Or don't say that just before I try a motor. That might be proved completely wrong. Mind you, I'm not a wizard, even if it does work. Okay, Kerry Kerner's saying yes. Fast Track Model Railways, yes. Luke's Locomotives, yes. MDH says yes. Luke Hill, yes. Kevin Brown, yes. James Chorley, yes. Chris Joe is being negative, although possibly realistic in saying no. Okay, most people are saying yes. Well, I'm obviously hoping that it's going to be yes. What do I think? No idea, let's just find out. I think so. It's looking good. Is it going to be good? I'm not sure, but I think it should at least work. Let's find out. Nothing. It feels like it might be trying to go. No, got nothing. Hang on, am I using the right? Just making sure I've actually got a connection. Yeah, I do. That's odd. It's like they're not making a connection at all. They should be. Oh dear. It feels like there is some attempting to... Oh no, there isn't. It just feels like that normally. Okay, so... how do we proceed, I wonder? Just make sure the... well, it isn't... the armature isn't clogged up. Because otherwise you'd be getting a short rather than nothing. But that is strange. It's strange that it should be completely dead. That makes me think that maybe that brush isn't quite right. If it's not making contact, that could be the reason. Let's give it a bit more voltage, see if I can't kick it into life. But if it is completely dead, that makes me think that brush is to blame. Whoa! Got something. There we go. I just pushed one of the brushes and it seems to be going. Which brush is it? That's strange. Do I need more tension on one of the springs then? That could be partly why. But we're going, that's the main thing. Right, so which one's not making good connection? That's what I've got to find out now. This is weird. Right. So let's slide them out one by one. Let's have a look at this one. Whoa. Hang on, we need something to push with it. Let me hook it up to my screwdriver and just push the brush. Yeah, so I think it is the brush I put in, or the spring that I put in rather. So why isn't it making a good connection? Is it touching something else in there, I wonder? Is it not resting on the brush? That would cause problems. It's a shame I had to go and lose the original one, but we'll see. Let's give this another go. Nope. It's got to go, it's got to be sitting underneath properly. If not, I might have to go and actually search for the original brush. Although that seems to be better now. Maybe it's just in the right spot now. We'll see. If that's reliable now, we can proceed. That's 12 volts. Is it going to run slow? Probably not. Come on. Yeah, that's literally as slow as this one's going to go. That's not the best. But it seems to be working, which is good. Right. Sorted. Right. So obviously something was misadjusted, but I reseated the spring and that's better now. So good. Let me just make sure, because I've just pushed that housing back in again. Yes. Something's not right with this side now as well. Let's have a look. It's dead again. I wonder if the brush is filthy. Oh, sorry, I keep mixing brush and spring up for some reason. I wonder if the actual spring's dirty. Let's just file the end. This is being a bit finicky, isn't it, this one? And let's clean up the actual contact plate, because that could be causing trouble. Let's clean it up properly, shall I? Where are my pliers? Here we go. It just looks like something's not making good contact. There we go. Well, that's going to be making good contact now. That's very clean. Right, try again. It's all trial and error really, I suppose, isn't it? Right. This spring seems to be putting a lot of tension on the brush. It seems like it's overly so. I wonder if I should trim the spring down a little bit, because it's having to be pushed in a long way. I don't really like the look of it. But we'll go with it. If this is the spring that the manufacturer fitted, it can't be wrong, can it? And the other one that sprung away seemed to be the same sort of thing as well, so perhaps it is. Right, you go back there. Right, so I'm satisfied then that that is properly seated. Let's try this one more time. If not, I might have to actually do a full disassembly or find the original spring so I can eliminate that. There we go. Let's knock it, see if we can cause it to stop. No. Oh. Yeah, something ain't right. It's very strange, is that? What I'm thinking of doing, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not, but maybe I could put in one of those Hornby 5-pole motors. That would be fun. I wonder if the body would fit on as well. Shall we try it? What do you reckon? It's going to be better than this anyway, isn't it? Let me find one. Because I could be fiddling with this silly thing for the rest of the day. For the sake of £1.60 odd, I could probably try one of these Hornby ones. Well, I say Hornby, obviously, not actually Hornby, but... So I've got one here, well, two here rather, which have shafts on both ends. So let's pick one. There we go. The shafts appear, in fact, the actual size of the motor seems to be really similar. Not the same, but close enough where I think there's a chance we could get them into the body without a problem. Have I got calipers? Let's have a look. Let's just take some measurements. So I think it's a bit taller. Hang on, let's zero us out. So the original looks a bit taller, I would say. Let's have a go. It's approximately 24mm in height. This one's 20. So I think it would have to go on its side, wouldn't it? How is the width? 17.2 versus 18.1. So it's a smaller motor, so fitting it in shouldn't be a problem at all. The shaft height, when lying on the side, is identical. And look at this. When this one's standing up, the shaft height is identical. And when this one's standing up, and this one's on its side, the shaft height is very similar. And we've got those sideways shafts as well. Sorry, what am I talking about? We've got the drive shafts as well, which probably mean that the exact height doesn't really matter. So I'm thinking, if I can just pull off these pieces and get them on here, provided the shaft diameter is the same, and it looks like it is, I reckon we could get it to run a 5-pole motor. That would be fun. That would give a whole different meaning to the video, wouldn't it? Right, that's it. That's gotten interesting now. Let's try it. So gear puller is what I will need. Let's see if I can find it. I didn't get it out today because I wasn't expecting to need to use it, but I think it would be the best tool for this job. Where are you, gear puller? There it is. Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, it's adding a little bit of the unknown into it. They're the same length, which is good. It's very good. Right. So let's pull the... Have we got the right attachment in the gear puller? Let's see. No. That's a very much no. Have I got a more suitable attachment? Not really, no. In that case, I might have to try and do this the old-fashioned way and somehow pull it off. Hang on. Oh, that came off easy. So there we go, there's one of them. See if I can get the other one off. I'm just using the base of the gear puller to yank them off, basically. Oops. The brush has come out. Well, it's too late now, Mr. Brush. You've already blown it. So I can just lever it off with the screwdriver. Yeah. Wow, they came off very easily. Right, good. Well, goodbye for now, old motor. Let's see if they fit on the new shaft. Yeah, they're going to fit. The only problem is we're going to have to try and match the shaft length, I reckon, because these are designed to stop. They're designed to have the, whatever this thing is, stop at the right spot. So I'm going to have to pull that back off, find a Sharpie, make a mark on the shaft where it needs to be cut, and then use the Dremel to cut it down. It's going to be a bit fiddly, this, but I think it could be doable. We'll see. So, original motor, doesn't really matter which way I set it, but if we set it, say, this way, we can measure exactly how much it needs from the centre part. So, Doesn't really matter, does it, too much? Let's push it that way a little bit. Right. So let's grab a Sharpie, if I can find one. When the streams are set up, it's a big mess up here. Okay. So I'm going to get them approximately correct, if I can. There we go. It's obviously no good measuring the distance from the motor, because the motors are slightly different lengths. Okay. I'm not sure at this point whether this is actually a good idea or not. But we'll see, because it's interesting. Right. So now I need to put the other attachment onto my Dremel. Bear with me for a second. And you have to remember when you're cutting the shafts of... In fact, it's quite a good thing that I'm showing you how to cut the shafts of these motors. Because obviously if you buy one with 2 shafts, you're going to have to shorten them. Who's this? Hi guys, love the short vids on the channel, says Michael's Trains. Thank you very much, Michael. Hopefully you're not hating this too much, because it's obviously not a short one. But yeah, the only 5-pole motors that I could find on eBay at the moment are the ones with shafts at both ends. So showing you how to cut them is probably a good thing. The one thing I would say is, if you are cutting a shaft using this method, quite a lot of heat is generated, and obviously the shaft can conduct that heat. So you have to be really careful just to do a little bit at a time, so that you're not generating too much heat that could damage the motor. I've never damaged a motor like that, and maybe they're not as sensitive as I'm thinking they might be. But yeah, I just try and do it either quickly or a little at a time, just so that it doesn't get too hot. So I'm definitely going to need my goggles for this, because obviously shrapnel could fly off and hit me in the eye, which would not be good. Let's do one check before I do this, just to have an idea in my head as to how I'm going to fit this to the chassis of the Loco. But obviously, because it's not a worm drive system, it's not super important that it stays in a particular spot. But yeah, there's plenty of space there for it to go, I reckon. We'll give this a try. Again, not sure if it's going to work. It's probably more of an experiment than an actual restoration now, but we will see. Right. Okay, leave it there, that's about half. Oh, yeah, that's hot. It's very hot. Let's try and cool that artificially with some IPA then, because I don't want to burn the motor out. Well, it won't burn the motor out, but it could damage it. There we are, that's cool again, good. Right, let's finish that then. Okay, same again, because I can smell burning. Cool that off. That looks quite short, doesn't it? But it should be the right length relative to the other motor. And it's still free to turn, which is good. So that's that one done. What I'm going to do now is strip off some of these tabs, because we don't need a big tab like that. And that should allow me to get in there to cut it. Okay, that one was hot, man. Okay, cool it off again. As I say, I'm not, ooh, it's hissing. Did you hear that? Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure how necessary this is, but I do it just because I obviously don't want to take chances. Obviously, it's only a £1 motor, or £2, but either way, you want to be careful with them. finish this thing. Whoa. Not the safest thing I've ever done, that's true. But I'm hoping we should be there now. Right, let's cool off the piece I've cut as well. Wow, that is quite a sizzle. Because I burnt my fingers touching the other one. Right, does the motor still work? Let's see. I don't want to fit a faulty motor onto a model. That would not be smart at all. So that goes like that. That goes like that. Yeah. That works beautifully. And of course it can also do a much slower speed as well, which is great. So if we compare this now to the other motor, we should be more or less equal in terms of the overall length from the ends of the shaft to the other ends of the shaft. As you can see, that is more or less right. Good. So now I'm going to take the plastic pieces that I took off the old motor, pop those onto the new motor. Like that. Wow, this looks strange. I'm so used to seeing worm drives fitted to these motors. Okay, that one's gone on quite close, but we're okay, I think. There we are, they're both on as far as they can go. Very good. You might need a spacer to hold the motor on the roof. Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking I might just glue it down or something, but to start with it should be fine. But yeah, some sort of strip of plastic, I was thinking, something like that, just to hold it in place, but we'll see if the thing works to start with. Let's see how that might go. I'm hoping I won't have to make too many modifications to the chassis so that it will fit. This little step on the ground here might need to go, but we'll see. I think it will need to go. Unless, well, these are going to have to go because they're the wrong height. But because it hasn't got a worm drive, the position of the motor doesn't matter. As long as it's held and so that it can't turn, and as long as the shaft length is right, it shouldn't matter. That's the theory. Yeah, so I'm going to probably mount it that way. And if I take that step out at the bottom there, I might just be able to snip it off, or I might have to file it. Yeah, I don't know if I can just chew this off or not. Let's cut into it. There we are. Yeah, it's going to just snap out, I think. Then hopefully the motor will sit nicely in there, and I could just glue it in, potentially. There we go. I'll just grab the file that down, and then I'll be able to fit that in. Probably just glue it in place actually, but we'll see. I don't want to glue it in place until I know that the shaft length is correct. I really want this to be filed flat, but I'm having some trouble getting the right angle on it. Yeah, that's it, that's doing it. It's doing the trick. Wow, this is turning into a real kit bash. But someone did post in the comments of the Mahano video, could you put a Hornby 5-pole motor in there? It did get my mind thinking, so when that motor that was in this one was acting a little bit off, it made me think, you know what, this is possibly a good opportunity. I mean, this loco was free, it didn't cost me anything. Why not give it a go? Right, it's nearly flat now. Right, let's try and clean some of this guff off and see if the motor will sit in there nicely. Ugh, nasty. Probably should have used my little vacuum cleaner actually to suck all that out, but this is doing the job. Tip it upside down and bang it. There we are. That's reasonably flat. Which way was I going to do it? That way, I think. Yeah, that sits quite nicely now. So there you have it, Hornby 5-pole motor sitting in a Mahano chassis. Wow. Happy Easter, Kelly. How often do I have to say it? Oh, just once is fine, Kelly. But thank you very much. Happy Easter to you as well. And with that then, let's get these bogies looked at. So first things first, let's open them up. So I'm just going to lever the base off with the screwdriver here, like that. There we go. Ah, this is just like the Mahano one in that American loco I showed on Wednesday. Right, so let's whip the wheels out. There are evidence, well, there is evidence of traction tyres long ago on those, but no longer, unfortunately, although I don't like traction tyres, so it's not that unfortunate. These look like they're going to be really easy to clean up, as you can see, compared with that model barn loco, or Klein barn. I don't know why I keep calling it model barn. Yeah, compared with that, this is just dead easy. This is a 5-minute job. Very good. Right, I'll clean the wheels in a second. I'm just going over the axles now, just to make sure those are clean. Some people don't bother with this, but I always recommend cleaning the axles, because obviously if there's any debris on them, they can cause friction. So that was good. Who have I just missed? Takuma Sensei. Hi Sam, that was me with the Mahano. Oh, it was your idea with the 5-pole motor. Yeah, well, good. Well, you got your wish. I do listen to comments, definitely. Whether it's going to, I'll be coming for you then if this doesn't work. How about that? No, not really. It's entirely my own responsibility. Yes, I should say that right now. Particularly if it works. Yes. Right. Okay. Right. Where's that toothbrush again? I'm going to see if I can pick that up. Where have I put it? Right in shot. Clean off some of those gears. Make sure it's all freely turning. The thing I want to do now is get it all back together to find out whether my dodgy little motor idea is actually going to work. Oh, I just can't, I can't. I get a kick out of doing this sort of thing. I really do. I know it's a bit sad, but just to, it just demonstrates the value again of those Chinese motors, doesn't it? It really does. So the pickups are nice and clean now. Chassis is very dirty. Again, I've no idea how the chassis got this dirty. I'm not going to take the whole chassis apart, by the way, because I don't want to be dealing with gears right now, and the gears actually don't look too bad. They've got what looks like earwax on them, which I think is just lubricant. Who was that? Thank you very much, whoever it was. Oh no, he says. No, I'm just kidding. I won't come after you. I might send you the bill to get the thing repaired if it doesn't work. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Or would I? No, I wouldn't. Yeah, that is, to say that's not lubricated, that's actually turning really freely, which is great. Right, good, good. I'd like to see a mini egg train. Wouldn't we all, Kelly? But I'm afraid there's only one good thing that mini eggs are to be used for, and that is, of course, consumption. So you won't get mini egg train from me, I'm afraid, Kelly. Mini eggs don't stay in the house long enough. No, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. Right. Excellent. Jolly good. So let's put some, again, let's experiment with, I say experiment, I'm putting it on every loco at the moment, with the silicone grease on the gear set. Work that in, hopefully you can see that. Turn that away so I'm not touching it now. And if we get this thing to work, I'll be able to find out whether, well, it'll mix it, won't it? And find out whether I've actually managed to get it good or messed it up. It remains to be seen so far. Now, I think that should be fine. I'll have to wonder how much of a good runner this is going to be because it doesn't have the traction tyres on there. What I could do is whip the wheels off here, which don't have the little notches in them, and put those on instead. But I think we'll run with it for now, see how it performs. but it might not be the best. I'll warn you now. But that shouldn't. But we'll still be able to find out whether, mechanically speaking, it's working properly. That shouldn't be a problem. So let's put this back together. I think I might save the actual wheel cleaning until the motor's able to turn them, if such a time should arrive. Because, how does this go on? Surely that's got to go through there, right? Yeah. Ooh, this bottom piece isn't very clean. I forgot to clean that. I better do that. Yeah, because there's no real way to get the wheels to turn, unfortunately, on this. And I think the best way is just going to be to let the motor do it. So we'll see. Let's clean this up. In fact, I'm just going to do it with the toothbrush. Right. I meant put a mini egg in an open wagon and have Thomas deliver it somewhere. Yes, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Kelly, but again, I don't think there'd be time for that where mini eggs are concerned. I think they'd just be eaten before they made it as far as the loft, unfortunately. Maybe I could ask someone else to do it for me and put me away in a quiet room somewhere and tell me something else is going on. Maybe that would work. Right. This is a bit awkward, a bit more awkward to put together than it was to take apart. But I think that's how it goes. We just need the coupling to sit on there, which probably should have gone on earlier. There we are. Serviced. And hopefully the lubrication I put on there will work its way through. But as you can see, when I turn the, well, what will be turned by the shaft, the wheels spin very, very easily, I must say. Much more so than the Klein barn. So that 5-pole motor is going to be perfect because it really does have the facility to crawl, which is great. So that goes there. Let's open up the other one then, see how this one goes. Same again, pop the base off. Yeah, whip the dirty wheels out. I might just use the toothbrush on this chassis. It's all plastic. As long as I'm careful with the pickups, I can't see anything going wrong with that. It should be quicker, shouldn't it? Yeah, careful with the pickups. I will clean the pickups properly in a second. There we are. Does this one run nice and free? Yeah, it seems to. Very good. Tiger 00. Why can't you do the train, then eat the eggs? That's a little problem called self-control. I don't have much of it, unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. It would be a good idea. It would be a good idea. And thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate that very much. Or Bob. You prefer Bob? Oh, I can't remember now. Right. Clean out the axles. Make sure the pickups are clean. Yeah, that is a bit of a concern because we've literally just got 4 pickups on the entire model, 2 per line, and they're quite close to each other, as you can see. So another project might be to improve it slightly if possible, but that won't be for today. We'll just see if we can get it working as it was intended, besides the 5-pole motor. But yeah, I think that was the easiest way to go. I could have been fiddling with that motor all day, and what would I get at the end of it? Just a slightly naff motor. Morten Nielsen, thank you so much for that. He says, good job. Oh, thank you. Well, we'll see if it's a good job. I'm hoping it will be, but you never know, do you? You never know. And don't let the Easter bedbugs bite. Are there Easter bedbugs? Just bedbugs that come out at Easter? Does the Easter Bunny bring those, Kelly, or is there another? Is there like an Easter Krampus that delivers those? That sounds pretty worrying, that, Kelly. Don't say things that might upset me, might give me nightmares. Easter bedbugs. I have to go and look for those. Is it just Easter Day, or do they come around the Easter period? Many questions, Kelly. Many questions. Right. The wheels are very dirty. Incredibly. How easy is it to get off? Not quite easy. Yeah, we shouldn't have too much trouble getting that off. Right, let's clean up the gears then with the toothbrush. Not too concerned about the gears. The lubrication that was on them had gone a bit hard, but it obviously wasn't causing problems because the shaft was so easy to turn. Should be fine. Right, let's make sure these pickups are going to stay in place. Let's bend them out slightly so we've got good contact, and make sure we haven't got hair on the gears. Oh, good. And a little bit more of the silicone grease right there between the two gears. All the gears seem to mesh together, so that should spread around, hopefully. Let's turn that away so I'm not working with it. There we go. Okay, gear 1, make sure it's behind the pickup. Okay. Yeah, this is a bit more pleasant to service. In fact, I've got to say Mahano are looking really good for beginners, aren't they? Because all this stuff is so easy to service and cheap to buy. It's really good stuff. Okay, put that to one side then. Hopefully the wheels won't fall out while I clean up the base. And hopefully this will be a good runner. I don't have much to compare it to. I suppose the mechanism's quite similar to the Mahano I showed on Wednesday, but yeah, I don't think they're identical. Could be. They're similar at the very least, I think. Right. I can't wait to see if this 5-pole motor works. The problem is though, I'm going to want to do it to all of these Mahano locos, aren't I? And then I won't have any spare motors left. But again, for £2 a pop, you can afford it, can't you? We'll see. Alright, coupling. Which way does the coupling go? That way. That's it. Pickups are in. Are the wheels turning freely? Yes. Very freely. Good. Right, so I can clean the non-driven wheels straight away. The non-driven wheels are literally just useless wheels. They don't pick up, and obviously they're not driven. They're just there for show, really. And yet they are quite dirty, which is again a bit of a problem. I think on the other Mahano I had, it said all wheels were driven, didn't it? So I think these must have had gears extending to them. But on this particular model, which is obviously an older one from the 70s or 80s, probably 80s, nope, this has just got the 4 driven axles across the whole model. So we'll see how it affects it. Obviously it used to have traction tyres, which means it would have been powerful, I imagine. But I doubt it will be now. Okay, let's do that with the other bogie. Yeah, those non-driven wheels are filthy. There is an opportunity there though to fit pickups to them if you wanted to. I could do that, I think. That would actually probably, if it is, I mean, I might be being unfair here, it might run beautifully, but I'm not expecting it to with just that number of pickups. But a couple of extra per bogie would, I think, make a big difference. But that remains to be seen. Oh dear, look at those. I wonder if these were ever cleaned when they were used. I wonder if they just broke down and got put in the loft. No idea. Right, so all we've got to do now is clean the other wheels when they're ready to go on. But let's try it. Let's put it all back together, see if I can't get the shafts in place. And then I will just glue the motor down probably. Or do as someone else suggested and just put a wedge in or something, but we'll see. I've got the soldering iron on so I can do a bit of that. So this one went at the front, I believe. I think it was this end. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. So that goes in like that. Before I fix it all in place, let's put the shafts on and see how this works. The good thing is, look, the length isn't important. You've got from that distance to that distance to play with. So as long as they're slightly shorter than in the past, it should still work. But let's find out. So that needs to grip on that ball. And this needs to be fitted on there, like that. That's perfect. That's holding the motor. Well, is it perfect? yeah, it's pretty much perfect, I'd say. Maybe if I could, no. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's holding the motor just in the right spot there. I'm just a bit concerned. I'd rather it be a bit further in, but we'll see how the other one matches up first. I don't want to start causing unnecessary friction by having the shaft pushing on the motor. But yeah, maybe. Right, so that one goes on there. See, that one's further away. It doesn't matter, I can just extend it out. And that's still going to work. How much further have we got? Yeah, that's still fine. I just wonder whether I could flip the motor over and put it in the other way. It's not ideal. In fact, I can just pull these out, can't I? It's not ideal because these tabs are going to be in the way, but if I bend the tabs upward, can you still see this all right? And put it in this way, I reckon the, oh no, that's even worse. Oh, is it? Let's see. No, that's not worse, that's better. Yeah, that's much better. Right, so that way it is then. So this way they're not shoved all the way in, and on the other end the shaft, or the holder of the shaft, is a bit further along so that they're both nice and loose. They've got plenty of space on those shafts, which is exactly what you want. So this is going to work. I can say with some confidence, and I know that's tempting fate, but I'm fairly sure this is actually going to work, and pretty well as well, hopefully. The only thing then is going to be to try and fix the motor in place, but I think a dab of hot glue underneath it should do the trick. It's not the best idea because obviously hot glue melts, duh, but you know, to prove the concept, it should be fine. Once the concept's been proved, I'll mix up some epoxy perhaps and just glue it in with that. So on that note, let's get some hot glue procured. Let me switch it on. The only reason I'm not using the epoxy straight away is because it takes a good, ooh, how long do you reckon? Several hours, more hours than I've got to stream to go off, whereas the hot glue can go off straight away. And again, like I say, it's not holding the motor in place or anything. It's not essential that the motor stays where it is. Obviously you don't want it flapping around, but as long as it keeps it roughly in that space, it should be fine. Oh folks, are you getting excited? I'm getting excited. I can't wait for this to work. I hope it's going to. I really do. Right, I don't know why I'm waiting for the soldering iron, because it's already warmed up. Just pull the wire loose, okay. So, tin up these wires. I suppose I could wire the bulb up as well, couldn't I? As always, I don't like bulbs. I get rid of them if I can, but yeah, there's no reason why not. Again, make sure you're soldering quickly on the motor contacts because you don't really want a lot of heat passing into the motor. Although it shouldn't matter too much. Oh dear. We've got short wire syndrome, unfortunately. Drat. It's time to get that green spool out again, I reckon. In fact, I've got a piece here. I don't think it's going to be long enough. No, not quite. I want plenty of wire length. This green wire has been a godsend already. I only opened it a week ago. So it goes from there to, let's give it plenty, go for about there. Okay. It's good wire. Like I say, it's so flexible. Okay, I need the wire strippers. I like this one's not taking too long. And then we'll put that body back on that's nice and clean. Yeah, it's just going well today. I think it's just one of those days where things seem to work. It's a bit of a botch, isn't it? I mean, I've not really done the thing properly. You know, it's not every day you can just sling a different motor in and it works. And I'm not saying it's going to work. I shouldn't say that because that is the ultimate tempting of fate, isn't it? But it's looking solid. I'm feeling hopeful about it. Just hope, for the sake of the stream and for the sake of my street cred, that the thing does actually work properly. Right, I'm just going to fill the glue gun, make sure that is actually warming up. Yeah, it is, good. Well, it burnt the skin off my finger, so I'm guessing it is. Excellent. Okay, a bit more solder. Wire the motor up. Is that a tab there to go through? No. It's fine. And then over here. You can tell I'm excited because the soldering gets worse and worse. Okay, so that needs to go in like that. That should all be fine. Make sure the wires aren't in the way. Okay, so then just need to hot glue the motor in place, which should be easily done, although I'm out of hot glue, so I just need to put another stick in there. I thought I had one out on the desk, but as usual, I can't see it, so I'll just get a new one. Bear with. Okay. So I'm not going to use a lot of hot glue because, like I say, I'll probably just get some epoxy on it at some point once I know everything's working and I've got time to let it go off. But for the purposes of the stream, we will do it the quick way so that we can get it up and running as fast as possible. But yeah, you can buy some cheap 2-part epoxy, mix that up very easily, and the job should be a good one. But hot glue for a quick fix should work well. Obviously don't glue up the actual motor itself. I haven't done that. And in just a minute or two, that should be perfectly cured. And that is really nice. Look at that. Surely this has got to work. This surely will not fail. It's not been running, of course. Get some oil to the motor itself. The bulb wire unfortunately won't reach, so I'm just going to snip that off because, like I say, I don't like bulbs. So that's out the way. Give that hot glue a second and then we'll get some power to it. See if I can't clean the wheels. And of course, now that the motor's fixed in, I can probably flip it onto its back. Yeah, that's fixed. Flip it onto its back like that. What's holding it up there? Yeah, that should be fine. And actually clean the wheels. So, first things first, let's have the moment of truth. The moment that I'm dreading and looking forward to all at the same time. And put some power on that motor. Right, folks, is it going to work? Let us know what you think. I'm nervous. Why do I get nervous? I got nervous when it came to test the model barn and started just spouting absolute rubbish. Come on, Sam, have confidence. This has got to work. It's got to. Let's get some power to it while you guys are letting me know what you think is going to happen. Let's see. Right. The moments are counting down, folks. What do you reckon? Cheers from the USA, Sam. Love the FP45. One of my first trains as a kid. Really? Is that what this is, Corey? I apologise for my ignorance there. Don't speak too soon, Sam. That's very true, Kelly. Yes, I've been getting way ahead of myself, haven't we? Yes, says Kevin. Mechanical moron says yes. Although, if you're a mechanical moron, maybe we shouldn't be taking your word for it. PH says, I don't know. Yeah, that's very diplomatic of you. Very good. It'll work, says the car guy 7. Right, shall we find out then? First power. Here we go. Yep, it's working. Very well as well. How slow can it go? Wow, very. Hang on, that's about as slow as we're looking. Which isn't bad. How fast are the wheels going? Yeah, I mean, it's a gearing problem. Again, they aren't going to be a brilliant crawler, but it's got a great range of speeds. Wow, look at that. Fantastic, folks. I am really pleased with that. So, let's get it flipped over. I might just hold it because the crocodile clips might dislodge the motor if I'm not careful. Put it up to a higher voltage. As you can see, the wheels are all turning, which is great. Hey, this is fantastic. Aren't those motors awesome? Thank you, China. Yeah, that took a strange turn, didn't it there? But no, seriously, if I'd paid the full Hornby price for one of these, I could not have afforded to have done that. It's got some power, I must say. It's hardly slowing down. Hooray! This is Callum Smith. Put 240 volts into it, says Luke Kill. That was going to be the response if it didn't work, but I think we're okay for now. Yes, it's working, says Takuma Sensei. I know, right? Thank goodness for that. And the wheels are coming up good and clean as well. At the insides. Oh, folks, I can't tell you how pleased I am about that. A 5-pole motor. Same thing as in my Merchant Navy class is now in an American FP40, is it? Is that what people are saying? Crazy. It's very good, actually. It's not been running yet, so obviously I'm not going to be putting it through any massive haulage tests to begin with. And like I say, without the traction tyres, I can't see it being a great puller. But it might be. Certainly pretty heavy. Right, other side. It's not the quietest in the world, it sounds a bit like a factory. But I'm not worried about that. It's not the motor making the noise, that's for sure. But the motor's much better than the one that was in there to start with, much smaller. I've got my finger on it now actually to hold it. It's stone cold. So in fact if it stays stone cold under load, I won't even need to replace the hot glue because it's obviously not going to melt. And when they're in the Hornby Pacifics, I don't think they tend to get warm. I mean, a bit of warmth is okay, as long as they're not getting hot, it doesn't matter at all. Wow. So in some ways this is just as exciting as the model barn loco was. I'm getting just as much of a thrill out of it. Obviously the mechanism's nowhere near as good. But this is a real achievement, isn't it? How easy it was just to put in a completely different motor. And try doing that with a Bachmann steam loco. Believe me, I've tried. Yes, it's not that easy. Right, the wheels are coming up clean now, not getting any more cack off the cotton buds. So, let's stop that. And I think, folks, we're about ready for the track test for the first time. Are the pickups actually going to be good enough to allow this to run on track? What sort of crawl can we get out of this? Now, is it going to crawl as well as my Hornby Merchant Navy did? Well, I would doubt it because the gearing isn't quite as good. But it might, we'll see. Okay, are you ready, folks? Now this of course assumes that the pickups are working. We know the motor's fine and the actual mechanical side of it is fine, but I'm not sure how well the pickups are actually going to perform. So let's get it on the track and find out. This has been one heck of a good project. Okay, well it's sitting on the track nicely. Let's double check that that is the case. Yeah, it certainly is. Okay. First ever run then in probably 30 odd years. Let's see how it goes. Set it to forwards. Did I get the direction right? What? How is the bulb working? That's odd. Have I made a mistake here in the wiring? I have, I think. I think I've put the bulb in series with the motor, which means the motor's not getting enough juice to run. So I think, yes, I have done that. I've put the bulb in series with the motor, folks. Oh, what a cock up. Gosh darn it. Oh, that's good though, that's funny. Okay, bear with me. It should be a quick enough fix. Because I was going to say the motor was humming, so I was like, well, the motor's getting power. I was going to say the whole thing's a fail. But no, I just put the bulb in series with it. Ooh. Now we need this white wire. That white wire's got to stay where it is. This is fiddly. I need 3 hands for this. Come on. Now stay there. Need that white wire to stay in place while I just solder the green one to it. Right, the green one's on it. The green one's not got any spring, so that should stay there, I'm hoping. And the white one. There we go. Apologies, folks. That was entirely my fault. We're still free. Not melted the assembly. No. Right. Okay. As with the model barn, the moment of truth has been delayed, as usual. But I think we're ready now. I'm not going to say it for sure, but I think I'm ready to give it a try. Ooh, let's have a look, just see if that's any well wishes. Let's see. Oops, says Takuma. Yeah, that is a big oops. But I'm all right. It's okay. It's not a massive mistake. It's a silly mistake, but it shouldn't prove ruinous to the whole project. Okay, did I get the direction right? Yes, I did. And that was a good crawl until it stopped. Bit faster then. Actually, from what I said about the gearing, maybe I've been unfair. That's 50% speed. That's not dreadfully fast. That's certainly not too bad. Is it going to struggle on the points? Yes, immediately. Ooh, got over the other set though. You know what, that is really good. That is nice. So it hasn't been running yet, obviously it's going to need to be, and I'd be interested to see if the motor gets warm. It didn't get warm while I was cleaning the wheels, but that's not to say it won't. Look how slow that motor shaft is turning. Ah, it's cutting out. What torque there is there. That is actually an astonishing crawl. Under load the motor can run much more slowly, it seems. It is a shame about the picking up though. It's not stalling, the motor's definitely not stalling. In fact, if I had the bulb still wired up, I'd be able to tell that I could prove rather that the motor's not stalling. Thank you very much, whoever that was. Oh, I'm so happy with this. This is amazing. Look at it crawling along. It's not cut out for a second either. This is a brilliant conversion. Guys, if you've got a Mahano Loco, grab one of those motors off eBay, 160 each. Well, that's what I paid at buying 10. Just put them in your Mahano Locos. What an amazing performance. The only difficulty is just cutting these shafts down. You need to make sure the shafts are the right length. And you do that, job is a good one, a really good one. Ooh, it's got some speed to it. Wow, that is fantastic. The only thing wrong with the Mahano Locos is that they couldn't crawl and they didn't perform that great. With this mod, they really do. And that Mahano one that I unboxed in the set, in the 50 quid set, had an identical mechanism more or less, except it had more pickups, no traction tyres, or did it have traction tyres? I can't remember now. I don't think so, no. It had more pickups though, and all-wheel drive. So with the same motor conversion, the Union Pacific, or Dash 2 as I wrongly called it, this thing could run like a dream, couldn't it, with a 5-pole motor? Oh, it just opens so many doors, doesn't it? It really does. Wonderful. That is wonderful. Great. So, which way does the body go on? Is the chassis, I would have said the chassis was, is it symmetrical? You know what, let's just find out. The body isn't symmetrical, of course, but the chassis looks like it is. Such a tough material, though, that the body's made out of. It's tough. Oh, hang on. No, it isn't symmetrical. It has to go on this end because there's a clip that goes at the back. Very well. It's on. Oh, look at that. Okay, there we go, there we go. You can do your screenshot again. There we go. That's the whole thing assembled, if that makes a better screenshot. And that took, well, if I started at 1:15, that's an hour and a half. An hour and a half to completely strip it down. New motor, full cleanup, and the thing's working probably better than it did when it was new. I'm getting a real kick out of this. I don't know if it's sad or what, but yeah, this is just awesome. What an idea. Well done, Takuma Sensei. If it really was your idea. Idea of the week, that was. Wonderful. Right. Are we going to get this to work? Will the body stop the thing working? No. Tell you what, that is so nice and quiet. There's no motor noise whatsoever. It really is just the sound of the mechanism. At that speed, it's not stopping on the express points. Good. Let's try that crawl. Oh, look at that. That is wonderful. What a crawl that is. And it's actually, now that it's run for a while, it's actually not stalling quite as much either. That beautiful range of speeds. Imagine that with some LED lights in, put some cab lights in as well. DCC, I mean, these motors are fantastic for DCC. You'd want some more pickups in, but suddenly you've got a really good candidate for DCC. That is incredibly good. Let's send it around the room. 50% speed, see how it handles curves and such. It's just a beautiful, beautiful runner now. To say that was trash, you know, it was just sitting in a box in a loft for 30 years, completely ruined, filthy. The difference is incredible. I've just really enjoyed that. That was probably my new favourite after the model barn. So we might do the same thing with the other. We'll have a quick look at the other one and do an action plan for it. So I showed another loco in the thumbnail, of course. There we are, absolutely faultless lap of the layout there. Wonderful. So, so happy with that. There you have it. Wonderful. Cool. So that one is done. Probably need to reconstruct some handrails for it at some point, but that's not too difficult to do. Right, let's have a look at the other Mahano loco that I've got. I'm not going to start it today, but I might remove the body so that I can clean that in the time before the next stream. And we could do the same thing again. What do you reckon? Would you like to see this one remoted? Santa Fe 6682. Oh man, it is filthy. Absolutely filthy. I wonder, does it work? This one still doesn't have all-wheel drive, so I'm guessing it'll be much the same mechanism inside. How many of those motors have I got? Let's have a look. Did you see my box earlier? Oh, it's heavy. There we go. So inside here, we've got the Hornby ones. That's the one with the double shaft. That's the one I'd need to use. So I've got at least one more. These are the ones I wish they still had on eBay. These are the smaller ones that fit in the 040s, the A1, the Tornadoes, the P2. I think the Duke of Gloucester's got them. 5-pole, cost me 180. And I've got, as you can see, rather a lot of them. Oh, there's another dual shafted 5-poler. So how many is that? That's 2. 3, there's another one back down there. So these dual shaft ones I can keep. Wow. Hang on, I need to put these back in, otherwise I'm going to crush them when I shut the box. As you can see, they've got strong magnets in them that hold them all together. Yes, it's quite a lot of motors. I've probably got a lifetime supply in here, although perhaps not if I end up fitting them all into Mahano engines. But that's all right. Right, I can't hear Sam and I'm annoyed. Why can't you hear? Sound's working. Right, let's open it up then. Let's open this one up just briefly. I'm not going to start servicing it today, like I say, but I'll take the body off. There's this part missing, which I believe just clips on. But to be honest, I'm going to leave it off until I finish cleaning it, but you can see how it goes on. Let's test it. Let's see if it actually works, shall we? It's probably not a good idea to put power to the wheels. Whoa, stay standing up. So, where are the pickups? Pickups are there, which means on the other side they're there. Oh! It works. Wow. Testament there to Mahano. The needle's jumping on the power supply, so obviously it's drawing much too much current. I'm not surprised because the other one was filthy and this one looks just as bad. But I'll show you how to get the body off and we'll have a look inside. And then before the next stream I'll clean up the body so that's all ready to go. And then we'll have a go at remotoring this one, see if I can't replicate the results. How exciting. Come on, there's something fun about servicing, isn't there? There's got to be something fun about restoring these models. That bit of little bit of fluff or sponge or cloth on the weight there to absorb some of the noise. There was nothing like that in the modern Mahano Loco, that's for sure. And then we've got body clips. One of them's broken off actually. I don't think I did that. Just trying to remember how these bodies come off now. I think they just slide off, or lift off in fact. Unclip at the front. It's one of those crazy models where the body seems to come off in several parts. Yeah. Oh, this one might be more tricky. But I think the Hornby motor was thinner, wasn't it? So it would fit in there. Yeah. It would, wouldn't it? Just grab one. I think so. Might be more difficult and it would have to be mounted sideways. Like that. Yeah, they're the same. They're a bit thinner, aren't they? Yeah, they fit inside. That'll be alright. Yeah. Doable, I think. I might be proved wrong yet. And if that's the case, then I've got plenty of these now, haven't I, that I can reuse, these old motors. But that's really good. Really good. What an opportunity. Cool, well, I'm getting repetitive now because I'm just too happy with that. Maybe on the Helgen class 1361. What you mean? You mean remotoring it? It's not worth it, is it, frankly? But yeah, no, maybe it could be done, maybe. But anyway, folks, I think we'll leave it there. I really did enjoy that one. We'll have one more run with the Mahano because that's just awesome. Love that. And then next week, not next week, well, it might be Tuesday that I do this now. We'll give this a proper clean. I'll clean the body in my own time. I'll make sure that's done for next time so you can see it. Then next stream it'll just be strip this chassis off, clean the body. Once everything's off it, I'll go downstairs and do that one, I think, as well. Trying to keep the handrails intact. I'll have to repair some of those. And then we'll see about remotoring this. Good. Fantastic. Well, that was wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed that. What a triumph. Those motors are brilliant. Right, let's go with one more run then. It looks great too. Cool. Yeah, you can breathe a whole new lease of life into these Mahano engines then. With, I mean, the actual remotoring part, how long do you reckon that took? 10 minutes? It's not even that, is it? No, you just chop the shafts off, swap the connectors. It's not even as difficult as putting a worm drive on because they're just plastic and they slide on easy. Bung them on, hook it all up, glue the motor into the middle. Doesn't have to be precise as long as it's roughly in the right place. And the thing works beautifully. Great range of speeds. That is wonderful. I know I keep repeating that, but that I was not expecting to work as well as it did. Great. And it can crawl again. Let's try that crawl. Look at that. It's hardly even moving. In fact, that's almost as good as the Merchant Navy. Incredible. Right. Well, let's go and have a chat then, because I've got some time. So let's just see how everyone's getting on. If you've got anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask, bung it in the chat now. I'll have a look. I hope you enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that? I did. Fantastic. Right, Duckers has gone, it sounds like. We'll see you if you're still there, Duckers. Harry Potter, just wondering if you've decided you're reviewing Black Prince. Sadly, I don't have Black Prince, and the thing is, it's the same as the Hornby Evening Star and the other 9Fs that I've got. The Hornby ones are anyway. If there's a Bachmann one, I might try that, but yeah, I wouldn't buy another Hornby A4, 9F. But maybe a Bachmann one day, yeah, that would be nice. She's called Prince, but she's a she. Oh, okay, fair enough. Bread, says Marcus Hung. Yeah, bread's good. Harry Potter is spamming. That's okay. Bullman's there. Hello, Bullman. Moo, he says. I'd love a link to the motors, please. I didn't include a link, Nick, on the video I did because the listings change all the time, and sometimes they're available, sometimes they're not. I should say, though, that I've been using them since 2018, and they've been readily available since then. All you need to put into eBay is 12 to 24 volt. That's the range you need. Don't just buy 12 volt ones. I made that mistake. The 12 volt motors that are rated for 12 volts, at least the Chinese ones, aren't suitable for 12 volts. It sounds strange, but 12 volts is the maximum. With 12 to 24 volts, 12 volts is supposed to be the minimum, which means if you ramp it up to max speed on the controller, the motor should take it no problem. So you do want 12 to 24 volt. Also include 5-pole motor, DC, in the search, and you should find them. Like I say, only the dual shaft versions seem to be available at the moment, but the single shaft have been available at times. As you can see in my box, I have quite a lot of them. So they're out there, you can get them. The smaller 5-pole ones that go in the 040s and such, I'm waiting until they come available again because they are really good. I bought 20 of those, I think, so I've got plenty, but yeah, they are really good. Anyway, do you have an Easter special plans as PH Railway Videos? No, I don't, unfortunately. It would be good, but no, I don't know what I'd do at Easter, unfortunately. Yeah, I do have some American locomotives. I bought a new one today, actually, on eBay, but I'll keep that a secret. I won't tell you what that is right now. Oh, she is a Bachmann, says Harry Potter. Okay, yeah, well, that I would like to try then. Yeah, the Bachmann 9F would be great to try. Don't know how good it would be, though. Why did you comment Chinese? Yeah, I don't know, SLD51. I don't know what you mean. Yes. As like I say, I can assure you I don't speak Chinese. Would using Velcro between... no, I wouldn't recommend that because obviously it would elevate the motor up from the base of the loco so that it's not level anymore. And also, there'd be quite a lot of movement. Velcro doesn't tend to hold things perfectly still, and it's not something that needs to be removed. So I would say hot glue's better than Velcro, but I'm leaving the loco running now, so after the stream's finished, I'll find out whether it got warm or not, but yeah, it shouldn't do. I don't think I'll be reviewing the Centenary Rovex set, Dom, because I've already got the new Princess now, but if anybody does, I'd love to see it. That would be great. And thank you, Harry Potter. Yes, I saw that. That's fine. Mahano made this. IHC just put Mahano in new boxes and paid Mahano peanuts, as did AHM. That's it. Thanks, John. Yeah, that's something a lot of people told me in the Mahano video. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Can you sell resin parts like smoke box doors? Probably not. Trademark too. It's probably a bit naughty, isn't it, copying parts and then selling them, but I don't see any problem with creating them for your own use. Maybe I'll do a tutorial one day. It was really, really easy just to create a mould and then sort of run off your own parts. It wouldn't work with all parts, and it's not ideal. It's not like injection moulding. You will get bubbles and imperfections. You can't do fine detailing with it or anything, but it does work. Will you do 009 gauge as PH's Railway Videos? I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to try as many different gauges as possible, but obviously I don't want to get too many irons in the fire because then it's all a bit much, isn't it? And you can't do them all well. The idea is to get the O gauge stuff off the ground properly first. Right. Yep, Lou Genius, you can get a shout out before your maths lesson. Ooh, hope you do well in your maths lesson. What are you up to in maths? I like the sound of that. I hope you have a good weekend as well, James. Yes. And in fact, if you like these technical videos, tomorrow's video, I won't spoil it yet, is quite technical as well. It shows you how to do something that a lot of people might want to do with certain Hornby locos to make them better. I have no idea what I'm doing, says Sam. I think you need to review Broadway Limited Imports models. Your choice, $500 plus. Yes, you're right, you're right. They do look absolutely amazing. I'd love to try some for sure. Yes, SLD51. Where are you? Are you Chinese or Japanese? SLD51. always, I mean, you don't have to say if you'd rather not. Obviously, it's not personal details, but yep. Simba 1996. There we go. What did SLD51 say? Let's see what he said. You comment Chinese, he says. Okay, no I don't. I've never written Chinese in my life. I don't have a Chinese keyboard for a start. Traction tyres tomorrow. That's right, SLD51. Yes, indeed. Are you planning on reviewing any of the Hornby 100 range? Yes. Ronan's Railways. But I'm not saying yet which. Right, folks, thank you so much for joining. Thank you very much to everyone who's supported me with Super Chats. You really don't have to, but I really appreciate you. That's very, very kind. We'll let the loco come past you one more time, just to show that it's still going strong. And then later on tonight I will feel the motor, see if it's gotten warm at all. They don't tend to though, and there's very little friction on that chassis, so I've got good thought for it. There we go, still running great. Well folks, thank you very much for coming. I hope you are staying safe. Obviously keep your chin up, don't let it get to you. Hopefully we'll get through all of this nasty stuff soon. But for the time being I'm going to try and do as many streams as I can, at least 2 extra a week. So that's videos on 5 days a week. Sorry I didn't do one yesterday. I don't have the stamina to do it every day, unfortunately, because I've got other stuff to do. But either way, thanks folks. I will see you tomorrow with another video, and see you on Tuesday it will be with another stream. Okay, have a lovely day folks. Go. Oh. Ah, the computer, it's going crazy. No, anyway, the point was goodbye and thank you. Okay, see you soon folks, take care.